great time to come on and chat, taking the dog for a walk, and wanted to tell you a little story. So over the weekend, I had received some extra cash for a ceremony that we were doing. So I went to go take it to the ATM to deposit it. And that's all great and all, but some of those dollars, those 20s, those 5s, they just wouldn't be accepted into the ATM, and they were crinkled and they just weren't exactly what the ATM wanted to see. So in my mind, I thought, well, those are not meant to be for me. They're not meant to go into my bank account. I'm going to give those away. And I've been saving some money, ones and changes and just stuff to give away to someone who might be in need. And this money, well, got added to that pile. So I sort of was manifesting at that point, I need to get rid of this money. Sure enough, drive across the parking lot to the home goods store, and I was going to buy a candle. I was staying at a friend of mine's house in her casita. I wanted to buy a candle to just say thank you. And gentleman in the parking lot holding a sign. And I said, this is the guy that this money's going to. I didn't know he was going to be there, but it was wonderful that he was. Went up to him and I said, hello, I'm Ryan. What's your name? He responded with, my name is Benny. And so I said, just nice to meet you, Benny. I see you're holding the sign here. It looks like you could use a few things. What is it that you need? Tell me, what is it that you need? And he said, well, you see my sweatshirt is pretty nasty and torn and ripped, and maybe I could use a new sweatshirt. And I said, okay, anything else? Well, I'm trying to stay at this hotel over the night. I have to pay cash for it, and so I could use some cash. I said, okay. So we went into the home goods store and bought a sweatshirt, some socks, and some waters. Nothing really major, just, some things that he had asked for. And brought them out to him also with that wad of cash. It looked like a lot more than it was because there was a lot of ones, but it might have been near $100. I didn't really, spend time counting it. I didn't really care what the number was, but it was important to him to receive because that's what he was requesting. And Benny became quite emotional at that point. Just being very thankful and grateful that someone saw him as a human rather than as his predicament. I said, Benny, this is for you. He said he couldn't take it. I said, yeah, you can. And as I was handing him this stuff, someone went by in a car. Didn't stop, but slowed down enough to roll down the window and say, don't give him anything. He's been here for months begging. And then kept driving. Well, of course, this triggered our friend Benny into reacting in a very defensive way because he's probably been treated like that for quite a while. Not humanized. Treated as though he was an object rather than as a person. It didn't affect me at all. I just said, Benny, after the great words of Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, we can choose peace. We can always choose peace instead of this. And he said, you're right. I can choose peace instead of this. So, gave him the money, and I meditated on that later, and I realized that this was more than just giving money to Benny. That it needs to be so much more, because there are people in the community, at least in the one that I live in here in southern Utah, who are not humanized. Even though we're in a very, I would say conservative religious community, they're not treated as that. And even if they are, we expect organizations to take care of them. We expect that it be like the unseen or it's the filth. And I don't agree with that. I think that we can see people as humans and treat them as such, regardless of their predicament, regardless of their situation, just treating them as human. So in doing so, I created a podcast, naming it called The Abundance Code Winter Project. You can follow that on my on my podcast. It just says it's the latest episode on Life as an Observer, and you can hear more about the abundance code. But I wanted to tell you about Benny's story just here, and in hopes that maybe it might inspire you. What I want to do is I want to take not just Benny, I'm going to find him. I'm going to find him again, but I need your help gathering donation, supplies, money, all the things we can, not only to help Benny, but help Benny's family, to help others in need in this community and others. And as I travel this next couple weeks, I'll be traveling to Salt Lake City. I'll be traveling to Las Vegas. Miss B's down here wandering. Hi, Bee. I'll be traveling to other communities, and I want to help others in need who are maybe cold and have been dehumanized. Getting to know their names and documenting my experiences with them here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. If you'd like to help, I will leave the links below in the description or comment section. I will document it all. Every cent goes to those who I find who happen to come into my manifesting experience. I'm just going to manifest it. They show up just like the way Benny did. The things that are in need are tents, blankets, sweatshirts, I don't know, flannels like the one I got on, maybe beanies, socks, hand warmers. We understand that this is what's needed, but sometimes we expect homeless shelters or other organizations to do the work for us. Well, let's be proactive together, and I'll make sure that you get credit also for helping out. Maybe a bag that we put together can have your name on it. I'm trying to get backpacks, so if we have those, that would be great. You can put your name on it as the contributor, and I will document it here on this platform and on the others that I maintain. So thank you. Thank you for thinking or even listening to this video and being a part of the Abundance Code Winter Project.